General Hospital spoilers reveal that Jocelyn working for Brennan is truly pushing everything toward increasingly wild and calculated chaos. As the young woman seems to be diving deeper into the dangerous world of espionage and power conspiracies. Brennan, with his cunning and sophistication, is using Jocelyn as a pawn in a much larger chess game, taking advantage of her naivety and desire to prove herself to carry out his dark plans. Every mission Jocelyn undertakes seems to bring her closer to danger, while Brennan tightens his grip on her. From tracking Sidwell's activities to gathering intel on Sonny's business deals, Jocelyn is being pushed into situations she's untrained to handle, causing growing concern among those around her, especially Jason. One of the newest obsessions comes from a shift in Jason's behavior, as he begins to realize something is seriously wrong with Jocelyn. Driven by his strong protective instincts, Jason has started discreetly monitoring her actions, trying to uncover the truth. This obsession is gradually consuming Jason's mind, making him more alert than ever and ready to intervene to protect Jocelyn from any threat. He's begun altering his daily routine, frequently showing up at places Jocelyn visits, and even using his connections to track her phone. This not only reflects Jason's increasing concern but also signals a shift in their relationship, from a distant guardian to an active overseer, a change Jocelyn may not appreciate if she finds out. But what if Jocelyn isn't really working for Brennan at all, and instead is working with Jason to unravel the trouble caused by the WSB and Brennan? In this twist, Jocelyn was secretly recruited by Jason to infiltrate Brennan's organization and collect information about the WSB's illegal activities in Port Charles. All of her suspicious meetings and covert actions are part of a carefully crafted plan designed to deceive not only Brennan but also her own family. This plan began months earlier, after Jason received reliable intel that the WSB was conducting suspicious operations in Port Charles, threatening the safety of the town, particularly the Corinthos Spencer family. Knowing he couldn't directly approach the WSB without arousing suspicion, Jason turned to Jocelyn, recognizing her intelligence, courage, and personal motivation after Dex's death. He proposed a bold plan. Jocelyn would pretend to be recruited by Brennan, while secretly working for Jason, gathering intel from within the WSB. As a double agent, Jocelyn now faces immense pressure, maintaining her cover with Brennan while continuing to report back to Jason. She must complete missions assigned by Brennan to retain his trust, while also collecting enough evidence for Jason to use against the WSB. This requires a level of finesse and bravery beyond Jocelyn's age and experience, plunging her into dangerous situations she's never encountered before. Each encounter with Brennan tests her ability to stay calm. Each mission is a chance to prove her worth to Jason, but also a risk that could blow her cover. To maintain absolute secrecy, Jason and Jocelyn have established a complex communication system using codes and rotating meeting spots. They've even created a public narrative of tension. Jason appears worried and disapproving of her behavior, while Jocelyn acts defiant and dismissive. This not only hides their true alliance but also strengthens her cover with Brennan. Meanwhile, Jason is grappling with guilt for putting Jocelyn in such danger. Yet he understands the mission's critical importance in protecting Port Charles. He constantly weighs pulling her out to keep her safe versus continuing the plan to eliminate the threat from Brennan and the WSB once and for all. Every report Jocelyn delivers, about the threats she's facing or Brennan's plans, forces Jason to confront whether he's justified in involving someone so young, even for the greater good. Things become even more complicated when Jason discovers that Brennan may be developing a relationship with Carly, Jocelyn's mother. It puts Jocelyn in a difficult position, watching her mother be manipulated by a man she knows is dangerous, while having to maintain her own cover. As events unfold, the tension escalates. Jocelyn dives deeper into Brennan's world, gathering crucial intel but also facing a higher risk of exposure. Jason must continue acting outwardly skeptical and concerned about Jocelyn's behavior in front of others, including Carly, to avoid blowing their cover. He's also preparing for the worst, setting up escape routes and contingency plans should Jocelyn need to disappear quickly. In a surprising twist, it's possible that Emma, Anna's granddaughter and another young agent in Port Charles, could also be part of the bigger picture. She might be working for Jason, or even Anna. In a parallel effort to infiltrate the WSB and expose its illegal actions. This could lead to a complicated scenario where Jocelyn and Emma unknowingly work against each other. Each thinking the other is part of the WSB, when in fact they share the same goal. Ultimately, as everything reaches a boiling point, Jocelyn will have to make a critical decision, one that could determine the outcome of the mission and her own safety. Will she complete the mission and help Jason take Brennan down? Or will she be exposed and face dire consequences? The outcome won't just affect Jocelyn and Jason, it could reshape the power dynamics in Port Charles. And looming over it all is a bigger question. How will Carly react when she learns Jason put her daughter in harm's way? Can she forgive him for involving Jocelyn in such a dangerous mission? Or will this create an irreparable rift in their long-standing friendship? Jason is doing everything he can to extract Jocelyn from the chaos sparked by Cyrus's death, a task made more difficult by how deeply she's embedded in the WSB's dangerous web. At first, Jason tried to keep his distance, hoping she'd realize the danger on her own and pull out. But as she became more entangled with Brennan, he decided to take direct action. From secretly observing her meetings with Brennan to installing tracking software on her phone. Jason is using every skill and resource at his disposal to keep Jocelyn safe, without revealing his intentions to Brennan. And if Brennan truly has a major vulnerability, it's making everything even more volatile. Through various sources, Jason has uncovered a dark secret from Brennan's past, connected to the mysterious death of his wife years ago. It appears she didn't die in an accident as officially reported but may have been killed by Brennan himself after discovering his illegal WSB activities. If confirmed and exposed, this secret could destroy Brennan's career and land him in prison. Recognizing the potential of this information, Jason has started digging deeper, contacting old law enforcement allies, using unofficial channels to access closed case files, and assigning people to follow those who might know the truth about Mrs. Brennan's death. This shift marks a turning point in Jason's strategy, from defense to offense, from protecting Jocelyn to taking down Brennan. One of his new calculated moves includes slowly bringing Jocelyn into this deeper layer of the plan. Initially, Jocelyn resisted, believing she could handle things on her own without Jason's interference. But when Jason shared what he uncovered about Brennan and his wife's death, Jocelyn began to grasp the true danger she was in. She also realized her power wasn't in directly confronting Brennan, but in her unique position inside his organization. Together, Jason and Jocelyn are becoming an unexpectedly effective team in the fight to bring Brennan down. Jason brings experience, connections, and tactical acumen. Jocelyn contributes intelligence, adaptability, and insider access. They've developed a secret communication system, with rotating codes and rendezvous locations to pass information undetected. Their plan is taking shape. Jocelyn will continue working under Brennan, maintaining her cover while searching for evidence of his wife's death. She's begun accessing WSB's classified files, using her growing clearance to find anything related to the case. Meanwhile, Jason is tracking down individuals who might know the truth, ready to confront them when the time is right. Still, the risks are high. Brennan, with his years of intelligence experience, is extremely sensitive to any sign of betrayal. If he discovers Jocelyn is working with Jason, the consequences could be devastating. Plus, digging into his past could make Brennan even more dangerous, prompting him to act violently to protect his secrets. But both Jason and Jocelyn know the risks, and they're prepared for anything. Jason has set up contingency plans, including escape routes and safe houses in case Jocelyn needs to vanish quickly. Jocelyn, in turn, has developed new skills in hiding her emotions and true intentions, becoming a masterful actress in her role as Brennan's loyal agent. As their plan continues to unfold, they know they're playing a dangerous game with high stakes. But they believe that with Jason's experience and Jocelyn's sharp instincts, they can not only free her from the WSB, but eliminate Brennan once and for all. And in the process, a new relationship is forming between them, not just protector and protected, but true partners. each contributing their unique strengths toward a shared goal. As Port Charles watches the drama unfold, no one suspects that behind the tense encounters and stern warnings, Jason and Jocelyn are executing a plan that could shift the town's power balance forever. And as they get closer to exposing Brennan's darkest secret, the question is no longer if they will succeed, but how far that success will go, and what price they'll have to pay to achieve it. Brennan still held on to Carly's trust, or at least, that's what he believed. Every romantic date, every tender handhold, every goodbye kiss reinforced Brennan's belief that he had successfully won over the Queen of Port Charles. With all the experience and skill of a top-tier spy, Brennan failed to see that Carly's affectionate gaze masked cold calculation. And her responses to his touch were the result of hours of practice in front of the mirror. But the real twist, the shock that's slowly unfolding, is that Carly is actually on Jason's side. From the moment Jason first shared his suspicions about Brennan and the WSB, Carly instantly recognized the threat to her daughter. Rather than acting impulsively as she often did, Carly listened to Jason's advice and agreed to a bold plan. She would get close to Brennan, pretend to be drawn in by his confidence and power, and use that connection to gather intel that neither Jason nor Jocelyn could access. This wasn't the first time Carly and Jason had teamed up to protect their family, but it might be the most dangerous mission they'd ever undertaken. With her natural talent for manipulation and performance, Carly quickly infiltrated Brennan's life. Every dinner, every intimate conversation was an opportunity to extract more information, not just about his current plans but also his dark past, especially the mysterious death of his former wife. This ongoing operation was one of the many recent strategic adjustments that had led to an escalating tension. Jason, Jocelyn, and Carly found themselves constantly refining their approach in response to unexpected developments. One of the most crucial changes was in how they shared information. Initially, strict boundaries were in place. Jason and Jocelyn worked as a team while Carly operated solo to minimize the risk of exposure. But as they realized the value of connecting pieces from different sources, they developed a complex system to share findings discreetly. They began using the Metro Court as an unofficial headquarters. Carly, as the owner, could move about freely without drawing attention. Jason, as her longtime business associate, had a valid reason to be there. And Jocelyn, as Carly's daughter, had every excuse to visit her mother. The Metro Court became a place where they could accidentally meet, exchange information through casual conversations and small gifts that contained encrypted messages. This adjustment signaled a critical shift, and it was becoming clear that Brennan himself was beginning to unravel. Sensing that something was off, though unable to pinpoint it, he started changing his tactics. He became more cautious with the information he shared with Jocelyn and began testing her loyalty through small assignments that served as subtle loyalty checks. At the same time, he intensified his relationship with Carly, pressuring her for deeper commitments, likely a move to bind her more tightly to him before she uncovered the truth. But Brennan failed to realize that every change in his behavior was being tracked and analyzed by Jason, Jocelyn, and Carly. They saw not strength in his changes, but weakness, a sign that he was losing confidence and control. They began to exploit this, deliberately engineering situations that would increase his doubts and insecurities, pushing him toward making mistakes. And Brennan's downfall was accelerating, as evidence of his past crimes started to come to light. Through a combination of Jocelyn's inside access at WSB, Jason's investigative skills, and Carly's closeness to Brennan, they began compiling a comprehensive profile on the death of his wife. They discovered inconsistencies in the official reports, unexamined witnesses, and even proof that Brennan had used his position within WSB to cover up his crime. As the final puzzle pieces came together, their plan crystallized. They wouldn't just expose Brennan to the WSB, but to the entire Port Charles community. They would reveal not only his past crimes but also his current manipulations, how he abused his position to deceive, threaten, and even harm innocent people like Jocelyn. This wouldn't just be the end of Brennan's career, it would be the end of his freedom as he faced both justice and the outrage of the public. While Brennan remained lost in his illusion of power and control, unaware that his every move was being watched by not one but three formidable adversaries. Port Charles was on the verge of one of the most explosive events in its recent history. And when the dust settled, Brennan would no longer be at the top. Instead, it would be the unlikely alliance of Jason, Jocelyn, and Carly, united by love for their family and an unwavering commitment to protect those they care about. But Brennan's collapse was only the beginning. His downfall threatened to expose the deepest secrets of the WSB, consequences none of them, not even Jason, Jocelyn, or Carly, had fully anticipated. As they dug into Brennan's past and his crimes tied to his wife's death, they accidentally opened a Pandora's box of WSB's darkest secrets. The files Jocelyn retrieved from Brennan's computer didn't just contain proof of his personal wrongdoings, they uncovered a vast network of illegal operations orchestrated by the WSB for decades. From election interference in small countries, to protecting war criminals in exchange for intelligence. From covering up illegal medical experiments to assassinating unfavorable political figures, the list of crimes seemed endless. Even worse, many high-ranking WSB members, not just Brennan, were implicated. This wasn't a case of one bad actor within a good organization, it was a systemic rot at the core of the WSB. As the trio grappled with this revelation, they were forced to face a heavy moral decision. Should they reveal everything they knew, even if it meant the complete collapse of the WSB and possible geopolitical chaos? Or should they focus solely on Brennan and let the rest of the WSB continue, despite knowing there were more bad actors within? This pressure created new tensions within their group. Jason, ever pragmatic and seasoned in the underworld, understood the unpredictable fallout of dismantling a powerful organization like the WSB. He suggested a targeted approach, take down Brennan and his direct allies, but leave the WSB's core intact. Jocelyn, youthful and idealistic, argued that the whole truth needed to come out, no matter the cost. Keeping part of it secret, she said, would make them complicit in the cover-up. Only full transparency could lead to true reform. Carly, as both a mother and a businesswoman, viewed the problem from a more personal angle. She feared for Jocelyn's safety if they publicly challenged the WSB, but also recognized that a half measure might leave dangerous enemies behind. Her solution was a middle path: use the information as leverage to protect their family while also pressuring the WSB for internal reforms. This growing complexity reached a boiling point when they discovered Project Lazarus, a secret WSB program that faked the deaths of agents and gave them new identities. The list of supposedly dead operatives who were still alive under new names included several individuals familiar to the residents of Port Charles, even people Jason, Jocelyn, and Carly had once mourned. Overwhelmed by the scope of what they had uncovered, they sought help from an unexpected source, Anna Devane, a former WSB agent and one of the few who had retained her integrity. With her deep knowledge of WSB operations and the larger geopolitical context, Anna could help them navigate the maze of information and choose the wisest course of action. With Anna on board, their plan became clearer: target Brennan and his direct network, while using the damning information on other WSB projects as leverage for internal reform. Anna, with her reputation and connections, would work with trustworthy members inside the WSB to ensure those changes were made and upheld. Still, they understood that even the most carefully executed plan would cause shockwaves. Brennan's fall and even a partial reveal of WSB's crimes would shake Port Charles and far beyond. Alliances would fracture, secrets would surface, and those they once trusted might become allies, or enemies. As they prepared for the final stage, confronting Brennan and presenting the evidence, they knew one thing: nothing was certain. Brennan, though cornered, remained a dangerous opponent with years of espionage experience and a wide network of loyalists. He wouldn't go down easily, and the confrontation might be the most perilous yet. But with Jason's tactical mind, Jocelyn's intelligence and courage, Carly's survival instincts and adaptability, and Anna's insider knowledge of the WSB, they believed they could not only end Brennan's reign, but also pave the way for a new era within the WSB, an era of accountability, transparency, and genuine public service. And in doing so, They hoped to bring a new level of safety and stability to Port Charles, a town long haunted by conspiracies and danger. As the dawn of their reckoning approached, none of them knew exactly what would happen, but they all knew one thing: after today, nothing would ever be the same again.